Hey dudes and dudettes, you have got to put right a pogo stick on your life's to-do list. These things are a blast, but there ain't no fun without physics, you know. What does a pogo stick, a car, a clicky pen, and a garage door all have in common? They all have springs. We use springs in lots of ways. In the case of a car spring, the spring on a pogo stick and the spring on a clicky pen, these springs all operate through a function of compression, which means the spring gets squeezed and squished. In the case of a garage door spring, this spring functions by stretching it. We call this an extension spring. Check out the springs in your garage that support your door. You're going to see one or two or both types of springs. Those two springs will be either an extension spring like this one, or you'll see a different type of spring up near the top of the garage itself. It has a big rod going through the middle of the spring, and this spring is called a torsional spring. It functions by twisting it up, coiling it up. Regardless of what type of spring you're talking about, a compression spring or an extension spring or a torsional spring, a spring is a spring is a spring. They all have similar behaviors. Well, that's the curious thing about springs. When you go to pull on one, it's not all that hard to stretch. This is a garage door spring. I love them. You can get them anywhere. Try to get as many as you can. This one, when you pull on one, it doesn't pull all that hard, but it tricks you into thinking that the force required to continue pulling on the spring will remain constant. And that is so not what happens. The further down you pull on a spring, the harder it gets to pull on it. Well, that's what makes springs really interesting. Let's consider the force required to stretch or compress a spring as compared to the distance it stretches or compresses. We'll do that back in the classroom. Before we do, I'm heading out on the pogo stick one more time. I'll meet you back there.